The Mirror's Secret. When Emma's grandmother passed away, the only thing she left behind for her was an ornate antique mirror. Its gilded frame was carved with twisting vines and faces that seemed to shift when viewed from the corner of her eye. It was beautiful but unnerving, and Emma couldn't shake the feeling that the mirror didn't belong in her small apartment. Still, she hung it in the hallway, hoping it might grow on her. The first night, nothing happened. But on the second night, Emma noticed something strange as she walked past the mirror on her way to bed. Her reflection lingered for just a second too long after she had moved out of frame. She stopped, heart pounding, and looked back. Her reflection stared at her, perfectly in sync. It must have been a trick of the light, she thought, shaking her head. But when she reached out to touch the mirror's surface, her reflection's hand stopped just short of meeting hers. "Don't be ridiculous," she muttered aloud, retreating to her bedroom. Over the next week, the occurrences escalated. Emma would see faint movement in the mirror when the hallway was empty, like shadows gliding just out of sight. Once, while passing the mirror, she swore her reflection smiled at her. Wide and unnaturally sharp, even though her own expression was blank. She began covering the mirror with a sheet at night, hoping to quell her growing unease. But no matter how tightly she tucked the sheet around the frame, by morning, the mirror was always bare again. Late one evening, Emma awoke to a faint tapping sound. It was rhythmic and persistent, like fingernails tapping on glass. Groggy and terrified, she crept into the hallway. The mirror stood uncovered, and in its glass, she saw her reflection, but it didn't look like her anymore. The woman in the mirror was much older, with sunken eyes and a pale, hollow face. Her lips curled into a grin, and she raised a hand to wave. The tapping grew louder as the woman pressed her fingers against the glass, her smile widening with each tap. Emma stumbled back, panic seizing her. "What do you want?" she whispered, her voice barely audible over the sound. The reflection mouthed something, but no sound came through. Trembling, Emma leaned closer, trying to make out the words. The old woman's mouth moved slowly, and deliberately mouthing her request. "Let me out." Emma screamed and bolted back to her bedroom, slamming the door shut. The tapping didn't stop. It grew louder, accompanied by the faint sound of laughter. The next day, Emma called an antique dealer to take the mirror. The dealer, an older man with a grave expression, studied it carefully before asking, "Where did you get this?" "It was my grandmother's," Emma replied, desperate to rid herself of the cursed object. The man shook his head. "This mirror isn't just old. It's been altered. Mirrors like this were used in rituals, to trap things, or to let them through." Emma's blood ran cold. "Take it, please. Take it away." The dealer hesitated before agreeing. "I'll handle it," he said, carefully covering the mirror and loading it into his van. That night, for the first time in weeks, Emma slept soundly. But as dawn broke, she woke to a familiar sound. Faint tapping on glass. She peered out her bedroom window. Parked just beyond her view was the antique dealer's van. And in the shadows of the back window, Emma could see her reflection smiling back at her. Thank you for watching. Storytime with Paranormal Tendency.